Hello and welcome back to Sunk Costs from IT to GRP. It is a lovely Monday lunchtime in the middle of January. All is quiet and peaceful and it's pretty mild all in. So it's all change. It is a Monday lunchtime. I'm not at work. I have now officially finished. I'm now a man of leisure, whatever that means, and hence able to come down here on a weekday. And now that I've got, previously I used to come down here and on one day a week, or about 4 hours a week, blitz as much as I can. And that was all I could do. But of course now I've got a lot more time, and hence the work today seems to be a bit of a fishing rod going on. So I need to adopt a new change of emphasis and try to relax a bit instead of just going full pelt all the time. So this is day 4 of my retirement, including the weekend. I finished on Thursday, and Thursday I was really not looking forward to, but it was lovely. It went really well. Everyone was lovely. Had lots and lots of conversations, lots of farewells. And it was bittersweet. It really was. I had a presentation, made a speech, said all the goodbyes. People were very generous. There was lots of presents, individual presents from really lovely people, presents from the department and from the wider organisation. It was really lovely. So now I've stepped outside of the capsule and into my new world, which so far so good. Food shop on a Friday, who knew? And this morning down the gym, dog walk or run, meditation, and then down here. I was pondering over the weekend about basically the precariousness of pensions. Pensions have only been about really since starting in the 50s, people contributing. And people like me started putting into our pensions in the mid-80s. And there's, on the social contract, government, world contract, understanding, belief, that we pay into those pensions for 40 years. And at the end of it, the government of that time then agrees to pay us a state pension, which we contributed to over that period, and all the money we paid into contributory schemes, they all mount up, and then for the next 20-30 years I get that back with interest and all the rest of it. So it's kind of a 60-year contract, which is a long time to have faith in there not being any plagues, wars, massive depressions, financial crashes, and so forth. Just sort of transitioning between paying in to getting out. Not the state pension, that's a few years away. But my contributory scheme is a real leap of faith, which the first payment hasn't arrived yet, and I don't know when it'll arrive. But you think about the kids today, those in their 20s, 30s, they've got to rely on stability in markets, no wars, plagues, locusts, whatever, for many decades to come. Just feels precarious. in a strange way. Anyway, enough rambling. I think let's go and have a look at removing those joist beams, whatever they are, with the, whatever they're called, star Allen keys, but not Allen keys. Let's have a look. So last week I wired up the main battery to the switch via a fuse onto that and to the starter motor, and the fuse went pop. So I paused then, went home and did some reading and research, and yes, I made no one but le deux errors. First error is you don't put a fuse in the series, and even if you did, you'd probably need about 500 or 600 amps, not 100. So that was stupid. And if I'd thought about it, car batteries to car starter motors, they don't have inline fuses. So mistake one to memory. Second error was the sheer length of that red cable. Even though it was 25 square mil, quite heavy duty, if you measured the cable length from the main battery up to the switch and then to the starter, it was probably 5 meters, which is too much. So I'm going to have a rethink and probably move that primary switch lower down somewhere to shorten all of the cable lengths. So I'm not going to do that at the moment until I work out where that primary switch needs to go. So what I'm going to do now is just put it back to how it was, 2 separate switches, one near the engine, and that will have to do for the time being. So that's what I'm going to do now. So assuming normal position, that is from the other switch, which is still there. Now it's a very tired cable, so what I'm going to do is measure it and then get a new one made. That will take me, so this current one is 2 meters. So if I get one made up for 2 meters or slightly less, I will then put that in place and then work it out later on. So let's get that connected up to the main battery. So let's feed that through. Actually, 2 meters is pretty much spot on. Now, even though that cable's in place, goes there, that's not connected there, no fuse there, so that's good. I turn that on, got power there. And let's take you over to here. Let's see if we can start the boat. So that's onto there. That's looking good. What I'm going to do is let it run for a while, make sure everything's steady and stable. What I've quickly done is cover up though that fuse which goes from the leisure battery up to there, and I've also covered up these and also put the covers on the fuses which go to the relay. So that's all tidied up, and I can now move on to the taps. I've tried the multi-tool, but it really just was not getting enough purchase. So I've started with just a little hacksaw, junior hacksaw with a new blade on it, and it seems to be going better. So let's see if I can get these taps off. I've got halfway through this first one. It's got to be nearly there. Oh shit. Bang goes one junior hacksaw blade. Let's see if I can get another one. Have a proper look at some sort of thing to hold it. Be nice if I didn't have to destroy said pieces. Let's see if I can, now it's to hand, should be able to get the Jubilee clip off. So. Oh, that's too easy. That's annoying. Right. The issue is not this. The issue is the nut, which is, let's try a Stilson on it, a little baby Stilson. Can't really get any purchase on it. Well, I've busted one up. Ain't gonna faff around. I'll take a hacksaw to the second one. Gonna get new taps anyway, so I shouldn't be that worried about it. Urgh. It's gonna be difficult. Being a lefty. Have to do some reading, a bit of research, work out what pipe I need to connect from the white 15mm pipe to some new taps. That'll be interesting. Off to Norfolk Marine, I guess, and possibly B&Q for the taps. So in the next piece of joy is to see I've only got a baby crowbar. I've got a bigger one at home, but that's no good to me. Here. Quite know how I can get some purchase like that. Like that. Yeah, there's a cover there for some reason. What's going to be interesting is to see, I assume there's screws deep down in there. Oh, it's a hexy thing, star thing. Don't know if I've got any of those on the tools, bear with. I've removed all of those sort of flooring. I can't get these joists out because of the star type screws. Mine are at home, so I can't remove that. So next job is to do that, and I've started removing all these horrible pins, and that'll be for another day. So you can see I've just spent 5 minutes attacking that head, and the only way I can actually get it is using this key and a pair of pliers for leverage, which is very tedious. If I had some sort of head to put on a screwdriver, I mean, the drill, could do it a lot quicker, but I haven't got those sorts of heads, so I'm going to have to do it by hand and spare you the tedium of watching me do that for the next half an hour. So I'll crack on, and I'll start filming again when I've taken them out. I don't really know what to make of this. So I've removed all of those pieces of timber through a mixture of undoing those screws and some persuasion, as you can see. And I've just lifted the toilet out to see what we have. This is secured down somehow. There's a screw there, but maybe it's just stuck down with sealant or something. I'll have to have a look. This is that's liquid in. Oh dear. That is, you can just see a reflection of, oh dear, what on earth? What does that mean? What on earth does that mean? I don't know. How the hell do I lift that off when that's full to brim with a liquid? Oh. Haha. What else have we got? We got this waste pipe from the toilet sink, which goes up here to the sink. Fine. Oldie but goldie. I hate to think. Oh, that didn't. What on earth? I hate. What do you make of that? There's some closed off pipes. Two of those seems to be just sort of ended. Power cable of sorts. I have absolutely no idea. So this pipe goes off somewhere from all of this. So that goes from, maybe that's being used for the engine's water coolant, maybe. I'll check on the other side. But why have we got two tapped off feeds? Are they from the previous engine? Well, this project continues to surprise. And there was I hoping we'd get gold or bullion or something. But what on earth is that full of liquid for? Surely they just didn't use it as a toilet and then just cap it off with a bit of rubber. Right, well, I guess that's for another day. I'm going to start that today. Now let me tell you a story about all the cables and pipes. I've had a little route around. So there is a shorter ship mains power socket right on the back of the boat. Now the cable from that socket goes along here and kind of goes up and down here and then terminates on a double gang socket here. Very nicely done. That's irony. So that cable is very old. Don't trust it. That will go. Now, the next thing to note is in the engine bay here, there is a terminated blue pipe here, which goes off to the back somewhere. Now, if we go along here, and these are the white pipes that I laid and cut off the old pair. Now, having lifted, well, let's follow that blue pipe first. Comes into here, goes into this water supply thing, Jabsco thing, and into here. So this was an inbound inlet water filter thing, which I'm pretty confident gave cold water supply in to cool the engine. But of course this is another hole in the hull of unknown real safety, endurance, provenance that needs to be fixed when I get the boat out of the water. Now these two yellowing ancient pipes are the other ends of what I cut off, which are teed off here and go up to the sink. So I can chop all of that out. And these two cables, this one here and that one here, are actually the same cable just looped around here, so I can cut that out. Well, it'll tidy it up a little bit, but leaves, oh yes, and this pipe here is from the bilge which goes out to the side of the hull. So I can remove that power cable, I can remove all the old pipes, electric, but leave this inlet pump valve thing until I get the thing out of the water. Lovely. Boat that keeps on giving. As for this, which is full, I'll look at that after I've sorted out all these other bits and pieces. Oh joy. In here now, it's a little bit tidier. So we've only got that inbound valve pump, which I think was for the old engine. That's there, and we've got just the pipe for the bilge pump and also the cable that goes to the bilge pump. And up here, to be looked at some point, is that waste pipe. I'll probably replace that along with everything else. But that leaves this thing that's full of a liquid. Quite note, I could possibly lift up some of the deck on the outside to have a look. That's it, I'm calling it a day now. Quite upbeat about life, upbeat about the boat making progress, I think. Yeah, not bad. Let's clear away and I'll see you another day. Have a nice life if you can. I'm certainly going to give it a go. See you later, alligator.